Hey guys, Scott from Fright Preps here, and this is the Chess Set Escape Room puzzle. This is a puzzle that we designed for escape rooms that requires players to place several key pieces on several specific squares on the chessboard in order to solve the puzzle. The puzzle comes with the chessboard, as you see here. It also comes with all of the chess pieces and a specified number of key pieces, which are the pieces that will actually trigger the squares when placed. By default, we send 3 and we'll randomly choose the squares. You can specify squares if you want to, and you can actually add more squares and more key pieces if you want to as well. The puzzle also comes with an Escape Keeper controller and a magnetic lock, although you can switch that out for another accessory if you would like to. So the way this puzzle works is that there are sensors underneath some of the squares, and there are actually the second half of the sensor embedded in some of the key pieces. So in order to solve this puzzle, you have to take the key pieces, place them on the correct squares, and once all 3 are in place, it will solve the puzzle. Because this puzzle uses an Escape Keeper, you can also specify the order that the pieces are placed if you want to. And we'll demo how you would set that up a little later. For our demonstration, we're going to be using a white queen, a white king, and a black king. And those are the 3 that we send by default with the puzzle unless you specify that you want something different. It's important to note that the puzzle can't tell the difference between the pieces. So although in your clue you might specify that white queen goes on d6, you can also use either of the other pieces to trigger that square. So the puzzle does depend on the way you structure your clues as far as having them figure out which of the 3 or more pieces are key pieces and which squares they need to go onto, but it's not going to be picky about which piece is on which square, just that each receiving square has a key piece on it. All right, so let's go ahead and place our pieces now. So we have C2 here, and you can see on the Escape Keeper that the LEDs will light up as I place the pieces. Once I get the 3rd and final piece in place, it's going to solve the puzzle and open the lock. There we go. If I reset the puzzle, you can see that if I use 2 key pieces and then bring in a piece that's not one of the key pieces, it will not solve the puzzle. So it does need to be a key piece on the correct square in order to solve. Again, it doesn't matter though which of the key pieces, so we can scramble these up and it will still solve the puzzle. Now, as I stated earlier, by default we ship these using the input state match puzzle mode of the Escape Keeper. So that means when you get it, you can just power up your Escape Keeper, hit the number 3 to start your game, and then the game is started, and the puzzle doesn't care what order the pieces are placed in, just that they're placed on the correct squares. And once all 3 are placed, it's going to solve the puzzle and open the lock. Now, if you wanted to change that so that it did care what order the pieces were placed in, we can go ahead and make some changes on the Escape Keeper, and we'll show you that right now. So we'll go ahead and we'll remove our pieces. We're going to power down the Escape Keeper. We're going to hold the number 3 and plug the Escape Keeper back in. We're going to keep number 3 held until the light starts blinking, and we can let go. All right, so now we're actually in the option settings of the Escape Keeper, and at this point it's important to remind you that we do have a full manual available online, so it's always best to have this as a reference. It walks you step by step through all the settings for the Escape Keeper so you can change them and make full use out of your prop. Okay, so the LED is blinking once right now. That means we're in the puzzle mode select option for the Escape Keeper. And if we want to have an input sequence where the Escape Keeper actually is looking for an order of inputs to come on, we just go ahead and change this to 1 using the dial here to move the cursor on the LED board there. Set it to 1 and then tap 3. And then we'll go through a couple more options here. So the next one's going to be number inputs. We can leave that where it is because we have 3 inputs, 3 squares that the Escape Keeper is looking for to come on. The rest of these options we can just leave where they are. So we can just go ahead and hit the number 3 until we get through the blue options. There'll be a green option here we can just leave as it is. A second green option we can just leave, and that should do it. Now we need to record the input sequence that the Escape Keeper is looking for. And that's pretty easy. All we do is we hit the record button and we act out our sequence. So let's say we want it to be 1, 2, 3. And then we tap record. Now the Escape Keeper has saved that sequence as the sequence that solves the puzzle. We can go ahead and press 3 to start the game. And if we place the pieces now in the wrong order, nothing will happen. Lock stays locked. So we can remove them. The Escape Keeper is now looking only for the correct order of placement. to solve the puzzle. Of course, because we're using an escape keeper, we have a lot more options too, so you can really fine-tune this puzzle to suit any situation in your escape room. So that's a quick overview of our chess set escape room puzzle. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment on this video or send us an email at sales@frighpots.com. Thanks.